Let's go over some of the reasons why you should buy a home in Florida ASAP.
Definitely some things in play that are really important right now, but they're also in the long term that will make a big difference if you buy sooner than later.
And we're gonna go over everything you need to know, and we're getting started right now.
If you are looking to buy or sell a home in the Venice, Sarasota, Inglewood, Northport area,
make sure to call, text, or email us. I am a local realtor here. My information will be in the description box below.
Phone number is 941-221-1897. Call or text at any time. We hear from people all the time. We love it, and we're always going to have your best interest and happiness in mind when buying or selling a home in the area. So, why buy now? What makes now so important?
The first reason is because of supply and demand. There's still a lot of demand to move to Florida, but there is, for the first time in a year and a half, actually inventory. We actually have homes to sell.
No way. You're being serial right now?
Definitely, yes.
Yeah. I mean, for how long we were sitting at, how many, was it like 2 weeks of
weeks,
supply?
yes.
And so like a healthy inventory is like 3 to 6 months. Well, guess what? Last time we checked, at least in our area, we were sitting at about 3.3 months of supply. We're in the Venice, Sarasota, Northport, Inglewood area. If there's high demand, that tells you that that's probably not going to go away. It kind of has right now because of interest rates. But I just think once interest comes back down, a lot of people have been wanting to move to Florida for a really long time. That got even more pushed to the forefront the last couple years because of the pandemic and everything. But I just think a lot of people are like realizing, okay, this is where I want to be. And I don't think that demand's going to completely go away unless prices continue to rise, which they probably will, which we'll get into that in a second. But as of right now, prices seem to be stabilizing and there's finally some inventory. So you put all that together and right now becomes a much better time to buy, I think, than it was, especially a year and a half ago.
Another reason is because the most desirable locations are already being filled in. A lot of people want to move to Florida to live near the beach, and a lot of those areas are already built out. Well, with having more supply, there is more opportunity that you will find what you're looking for in the location that you are looking for.
Yeah, and even like as far as like new construction opportunities, things like that. Again, a lot of that's going to be more inland. So now there's less opportunity to get, there's very few opportunities now to get some more of that newer construction that's closer to the coast. One example of that would be actually really close to us, Welland Park. It's kind of in between Venice, Northport, and a little bit of Inglewood area. But that's really close to the coast, but it's a way to get in a nice new master plan community, the fastest growing in the United States actually, and it's actually relatively close to the beach. Those opportunities are not going to be around much longer. So once that fills in, good luck trying to find something in a low crime area, newer construction, good schools, the whole 9 yards, and being close to the beach. At that point, your options are going to be even further inland, even further from the beach.
That's especially true in the Southwest Florida area. This area has become a hot spot with Sarasota and Lakewood Ranch, Venice, Northport, Inglewood, and the Welland Park community, which is in between Venice, Northport, and Inglewood.
Yeah, this whole area is kind of blown up the last couple of years now. It's always been steadily growing, but I think a lot of people really found out about this area, found out they like the Gulf Coast. And yeah, a lot of the opportunities for that are going away. I mean, you go up by Tampa, most of that's already built out. So this is kind of like the new Tampa, I guess, in a way. I don't think it's going to have a same vibe or feel. It's a little less big city feel. And if that's what you're looking for, again, even more reason that you would probably want to get something while you can, because those options are going to be limited in the next, another 5-10 years, I would say. But, even, especially now, I would say, with interest rates being up a little higher, yes, it might bring your purchasing power down, but with a lot of these new construction opportunities right now, at least as we're filming this, they're buying down the interest rate and things like that. So.
Yes, there is a lot of incentives right now for new construction, so there's still opportunity out there. You just have to look for it. And the next reason too is with more people moving down to the area, home appreciation. So now homes are going to cost more. And maybe because the interest rates were high for so long, you decided not to purchase a home. But now with a lot of people moving down to the area, your options might be very limited.
Yeah, and I think one example to look at is California. Look how much prices have appreciated in California over the last 50, 60 years. Absolutely crazy. We've already been seeing that in Florida for the last 10-ish years. Granted, you had the crash, and that really brought down values at one point. But since then, they went back up significantly, really went up over the last couple of years. And I think a lot of people think, okay, there's going to be this big crash where everything goes down. But again, we hear from people all the time looking to move down to this area because it's highly desirable. And now what that means is there's still a lot of demand. If that demand always stays there, which I don't see it going away, there's always going to be some appreciation happening.
Yeah, so getting in now would make much more sense than, you know, waiting and maybe you don't even have the opportunity in the future to buy, or it's, you know, crazy, ridiculous, expensive like in California. So now your buying power, it's, you know, diminished. Getting in now while we still have options out there, it's the way to go in my opinion.
Yeah, and going back to that comparison, I think one thing to think about is imagine if you bought a home in California in like 1950. Think about how much that house would be worth now. Similar things kind of happening here in Florida. At least that's our prediction, and that's the way it seems like things are going. Now imagine you wanted to go buy a home in California right now. Could you afford it? Or if you could you do it as comfortably? That's kind of what we're talking about when we talk about the long-term trend of what we see happening in Florida. But of course, we don't want to guarantee that. We don't know for sure, but generally based on what we've seen, I feel pretty confident making that prediction.
I think we're heading that way, yes, definitely.
With that being said, if you are looking to buy or sell a home in the Venice, Sarasota, Northport, Inglewood, Welland Park, Lakewood Ranch, Port Charlotte areas,
make sure to call, text, or email us. I am a local realtor here. My information will be in the description box below.
That phone number is 941-221-1897. Call or text at any time. We hear from people daily, and we love it. We're always going to have your best interest and happiness in mind when buying or selling a home in the area. If you found the video helpful, hit all the buttons down below. Leave a comment. Let us know what your thoughts are, and
live breezy.